Good morning, everybody. I'm still here at Blackacre Ranch, but nobody else is. I can hear the neighbor's dogs barking up a storm, and I can only hope that they actually come over. But enough of that. So I showed you my tent. I didn't last night, so here it is. This is my little tent. This was my sleeping friend last night. It isn't the greatest. Let me show you some of these things. These are the set of poles that I don't know, they're missing. So we're missing some of those poles. I think that I needed one more, but anyway, there's a big gap. This is what it looks like out here in an early morning, since, you know, whenever I come out here and actually arrive, it's not exactly early, it's just morning. So I've got the gutter guys coming in about a half hour, I think it is. In the meantime, I'm going to be working these pipes. So, and then doing a bunch of mowing, I think is what it's going to be. You notice I got some glasses. My wife bought me some glasses. I still think I look like Robin from Batman and Robin, some stooge, but anyway. All right, so I'm gonna get some breakfast. I'm gonna break down the rest of this tent and get the day going, and wait for these guys to show up. I gotta unlock the gate too. All right, get some contacts in so that way I don't look like the boy wonder, and yeah, just get kind of some things organized. This has been my one friend this morning. This little beetle thingy will not leave me alone. He is he's all after me like a fly on poo, man. He comes up and then he gets nervous and he stops. This guy's hanging out on the bottom of my tent. I swear I need to go get like 200 chickens and just let them go to town, man. I don't know what this sucker is. Oh, gotta get him off. Man, there's a lot of bugs. Those are my two little friends. Alright guys, I'm in my truck right now to eat breakfast. I got McDonald's yesterday. It all stays good. I just left it in the car. So as I'm here waiting for the gutter dudes, I thought I'd go over kind of a few things and just kind of fill you in on some details. So now, don't everybody cringe. McDonald's doesn't exactly have to be refrigerated for at least 72 hours, so we all know we go there. So they, that little well that we were looking at, Nathan and everything, we've done some research on it, and he called up a plumber guy and asked him some questions about it, some way to figure out kind of what it is. And the guy said, you know, it sounds like to me it's a septic. And, you know, the more and more I've been researching about that, you know, I think he's probably right. Here's a picture of a diagram of a septic tank. And this matches very closely to kind of what we have now. We have the two pipes about equal, they're both Y. And we have one that goes longer down, and that's where the filter would go to stop the effluent and all that other stuff from getting sucked up and drained out. So, my bet is it's an actual septic. I remember them telling me that with a pool, since it's over by where the pool used to be, they had a bathhouse. And I'm kind of thinking, you know, if a dude had to go potty, they would probably want a toilet out there. So it makes sense that it fits a septic. So I think it's a septic tank. So filling it in, you know, it holds water. My thought was I was just going to be putting some, maybe like some big gravel down there and then putting like a foot of dirt on top. You know, something like that, just filling it in and being done and walking away. If you have any other ways in which we should collapse or fill in a septic tank, I mean, there's nothing in it. There's been nothing for years in that thing, probably over a decade. So there's nothing fresh. Well, maybe not, depends. But yeah, if you have any suggestions on it, let me know. I'm going to go deal with the gutter folk while I finish my fresh sandwich. So, all right. At the tank, we're gonna have a 2-inch pipe coming out, and it's gonna transfer over to a 1-inch pipe as it comes all the way down to the troughs. So I have the 1-inch pipe done down here towards the trough. I haven't done my 90. Let me actually show it to you. I have it capped with a plastic bag, but it's sitting here right at the trough. And I'm gonna do a 90 coming off over here, and then I'll probably pop up in the out of the ground and branch one over here and one over there for the valve. So this section here is going to be a 3/4 line because it's going to match the size of the valve, but this is going to be 1 inch, and I have some of it in the trench already, but I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of that in. I probably won't be able to show it to you on camera. I'm the only one here today, but you know, I'm just trying to get stuff done because I've got the gutter guys working, as you can see. Their story is the gutters, the steel gutters, have a tab which is underneath the actual roof, and so they were going to have to unscrew every bit of the bottom part of that. Gosh, I can't think of any words today. The panel, the roof. They're going to have to unscrew all of that down like where they're sitting, lift it all off, and then undo the tabs. So right now what they're trying to do is cut the tabs and save themselves from having to dismantle half the roof. So that's the noise you're going to be hearing in the background. They're just cutting it all out, and then they'll go ahead and put everything else up. So I'll get you some progress later on. I just got to get these pipes in and then return the trencher. There she goes. You know how big your steps are.
Huh?
You know how big your side step is?
Yeah, well, they said just a big old, just a wide step. You know, so like every 2.5 foot, I guess. Well, you showed me how to do it.
There was that middle hanger that had an overlap I was looking at. He's putting it into that right now, and I guess that's the main anchor point, and everything else is going to be based off of it. So I think the center point is going to be the high point, and it's going to go a little bit lower to the side, to the right and to the left for the downspouts. They checked both ends, they're good on the side to side. Now it's just a matter of holding it and putting it all in. I think your goal here is to get it so it's generally level. And I don't believe they're putting much of any slope on it. gutter crew is now left, so I wanted to fill you in on kind of some of the details. We kind of showed you before that they cut out the gutter. The gutter was a steel gutter before when it was originally put in, and it was a one-piece kind of flashing drip edge gutter system. So the gutter kind of has, you know, the gutter portion, and then it had a tab that went up, and it probably went up about 18 inches or so, maybe only a foot. And the idea being that it went underneath the roof, and when they screwed the bottom row of screws in on the roof, metal roof portion, it passed through that flashing, that top tab kind of section. If they were to go ahead and try and take the gutter off, what they have to do is take all the holes off on that bottom layer, and then potentially take off that whole bottom sheet. Now the roof has 2 courses of metal, so they'd have to take off the lower course, from what they're saying. So the idea was, well, let's just cut off the metal and use that, the metal gutter, and then use that other hanging area that was off as a drip edge. So that's fine and all. But you know, once they started putting everything up and they got all the clips in and they start putting this thing up, you can kind of see that, okay, that drip edge isn't going to go because you have all the clips in there. And apparently what they noticed is they just put this right up against that flashing. They didn't actually go underneath it like they said they were going to. And so I asked them what's going on, and that's what we saw there with all the gaps. You know, the roof does not overhang because it didn't need to. It had that other kind of flashing. So because there's gaps, I was kind of like, you know, that's not cool. You know, we got to find something to do. The solution is they're going to come in and put a flashing underneath it, which will then act as a brand new drip edge. So they're going to have to remove those bottom course of screws and slide something under and re-screw down all the way along. So I think they're going to finish that next week. I'm going to wait to hear back from the guy. I think they're going to order the flashing or something. But until then, it should catch a lot of water. But, you know, obviously you want that flashing in there. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, that's that for now. Both sides are up. Some of the gutters are actually screwed directly to that flashing only. I guess the red iron back there didn't give a lot of stuff to screw to, which may be why they went with a steel gutter that had that flashing built in. So anyway, so they had to screw it directly into that flashing, old flashing, because they couldn't get into the red iron main structure. So anyway, because of that, it just got to be a bigger problem. The guy who gave the quote never got up on a ladder, never looked. And so these guys were kind of like, yeah, you know, that kind of happens every once in a while. So anyway, that's gutter. I'm done talking about that. I decided that since I need to get this done, I didn't record any of it since I was just all alone anyway, and I don't think seeing my butt sitting in the air as I'm on my hands and knees moving around dirt is all going to be all exciting. So I got this filled in, and you can see it. And you can see probably just out to the trough potentially. But you can see it now. We went under the fence, came across, went up, angled, over, and we're gonna go up. So the dirt took a lot longer to fill in than I would have imagined. The pipe wasn't too bad. It's all typical pipe. There's plenty of videos on how to put PVC together. I don't really care to show you, but so as you can tell, we are not straight. We kept having on our guy that crookedness, you know, whenever we were doing our trenching. So I am going to come back next week, and I also don't have an elbow, another elbow for the 1.5 incher or the 1 inch. So I think I'm going to try and dig out maybe some of this, try and bend this a little bit more up by digging it out, and then popping up, maybe giving a little spigot, and then we'll bring out in front a manifold probably about ground level, right about up to here, because this bulkhead and the other bulkhead, I don't know if you can tell from the picture, are actually not at the same height on the actual container. They're different heights, so I've got to worry about that a little bit. But we put a baggie on the end, we wrapped it all up so no more moisture gets in, We did a similar thing over there on the trough side. So little fine tuning details next week. And then we're gonna start working on this gutter situation. Like I told you earlier, he's gonna come back with some flashings sometime, maybe next week. But in case you didn't see it, one long continuous piece, and it's got a downspout right there, and then here and here. So that's us, or me. I'm the one left. I'm gonna get out of here. It's 6 o'clock or something like that. I'm gonna go home. I haven't even eaten all day, so I'm a little tired. Anyway, keep up with us. More to come on the rain harvesting. We still got all the gutter things to do, finish up the little attachments. Signing off, we'll catch you next week. All right, see ya.